how far you'd be if you would have started and just kept going without stopping? Can you imagine the life you'd have right now, the person you'd be right now if you would have just started doing everything that you said you were going to do, doing everything that you said you would do? Imagine the life you'd have, the relationship you'd have, the business you'd have, the body you would have, the freedom you would have, the fulfillment you would have, the confidence you would have. Imagine if you would have just stuck to what you said you were going to do instead of teeter-totter, just going back and forth, one foot in, one foot out on the fence like a straight pansy. Imagine if you would have just committed. Imagine if you would have just did it, regardless of how you felt. Imagine if you didn't fall victim to your vices, regress back into your old negative patterns. And imagine if you weren't self-sabotaging daily, talking to yourself negatively, surrounding yourself with negative stimulus. Imagine how far you'd be if you would have put yourself in a better situation and stayed there, propelled there, prospered there. But you fell victim to the world, right? Temptation. That weak shit, huh? You got lazy, didn't you? Imagine if you weren't lazy, fam. Or imagine that every time you felt lazy, you just got that shit did anyways. What if you had that mental fortitude? What if you had that mental toughness? Can you be that person, or are you just going to tell yourself that you could be that person? Because there's a difference between telling yourself that you can be that person and being that person. Okay? That's the difference. You can tell yourself all the shit you want, but what are you doing? What do your actions show? What results do you have? What evidence do you have? Can you imagine if you would have just followed your heart, if you would have just followed your dream, if you would have just stopped listening to everybody else? Can you imagine how far you'd be in life? Can you imagine the possibilities? Can you imagine the opportunities that you would have came across, that would have entered your life, if you would have stopped being so afraid, if you would have stopped caring so much about what other people think about you and what you should do, if you just followed your own intuition, if you followed your voice, if you listened to God? Could you imagine the life you'd had if you stopped being a follower and became a leader? Can you imagine being a leader? Why would people even follow you? Do you have leadership qualities? Let's talk real quick about what it takes to become a leader. Leadership requires certain characteristics and certain traits. In order to be a good leader, number one, you need to be able to have been a good follower. Every good leader at one point in time was a good follower. Okay? Taking leadership on as an individual requires massive courageousness, massive bravery, massive confidence, massive critical thinking skills, massive patience, usually massive EQ and IQ, emotional intelligence, right? All of that. You need to have resilience as a leader. You need to have strategy, the ability to foresee, right? So you have to have vision. You have to be a true visionary in order to be a leader. How can you lead somebody if you don't know where you're going? Now I understand you might be feeling lost right now. Can you imagine if you weren't lost, if you knew where to go, if you had somebody in your life who was showing you what to do, where to go, how to do it, held you accountable? You're not alone in this world, man. No one is alone. Can you imagine if you had somebody coaching you, mentoring you, how far you'd be? What information are you listening to? Who have you been following this whole time? Where have you been getting your advice? Can you imagine if you got better advice? Can you imagine what you would be able to do if you had the right information? You know what they say, information changes situations, right? So if you got the right information, you can change the situation. What information are you living your life off of? What information are you letting rule your reality? What information are you basing your beliefs off of? Can you imagine if you had a whole new set of beliefs? Maybe beliefs that supported you further into your growth instead of hindering you? Can you imagine if you replaced all of your negative self-inflicting limits with infinite possibilities? Self-esteem that was just at an all-time high? What if you couldn't fail, fam? What would you do? What if failure wasn't an option? What would you do? You're afraid to fail so often. So oftentimes you're afraid to get started because you're afraid of the consequences. There's going to be a consequence of everything that happens in life, good or bad. Okay? Regardless, it's going to be hard. Would you rather have the hardship of learning and the struggle of learning and the hardship of figuring it out, or would you rather have it hard because you didn't figure it out? It's going to be hard either way, straight up. Okay? So would you rather be poor and be broke and be miserable and suffering and sad? Because that's going to be hard too. That's going to be very hard life. Or would you rather take the hard road and learn how to get rich, learn how to set yourself up for success, financial freedom, take care of your financial situation, change your family and your generation for years and years to come? That's going to be hard too. But choose your hard, choose your difficulty, because either way it's going to be difficult, man. Imagine if you put it all on the line and you did what you needed to do for your family. Imagine if you said, fuck it, I'm going to take the hard road. Even though it's going to be difficult, even though it's going to take grind, it's going to take sacrifice, I know it's going to be worth it. Imagine if you told yourself that every day instead of, it's not worth it. I can't do it. Right? You try to talk yourself out of everything you ever wanted in your life. Imagine if you were able to talk yourself into everything you wanted in your life. We don't do that here. When we're operating at a high level of frequency, we're only positively reinforcing and affirming ourselves. We don't get down into negative ruts. And if and when that negativity starts to creep into our reality, we drop into a workout instantly. We go become the source of that which we seek. We go help people. We don't spend time entertaining negative thoughts. We don't spend time entertaining negative narratives. We're quick to switch that off with auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion that life is good. Auto-suggestion that I'm abundant. Auto-suggestion that I'm the chosen one. Auto-suggestion that everything is always working out for me. Auto-suggestion that things are always going my way. Auto-suggestion that money flows and comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Auto-suggestion that God has a divine plan for me and God has a divine plan for you, and all you have to do is call above, report above, and listen to that response. God will always tell you what to do. But so many times we hinder ourselves with vices, negativity, drugs, alcohol, just programming, stimulus that clouds our vision, clouds our mindset, that we can't hear the divine calling. You won't be able to hear that universal calling if you're constantly in a daze, if you're constantly in a state of brain fog. You need to have massive clarity in order to really get these downloads from the universe, man. So I encourage you, find clarity, find inner peace, find a way to develop serenity so that you can tap in and tune into the surroundings, tap in and tune into source energy, tap in and tune into the true reality and the true purpose that you're supposed to be living. You're here right now in this world. Are you really living your fucking best life? Is that all you can do? Are you really maxing out your fucking potential, G? This is the one life you get. This is it. You can change your entire life drastically. I want you to know that. I came from nothing. I came from a small city, single family household, grew up, broke, hustled, sold drugs, delivered foods, had a million different dead-end jobs, got fired, got let off, got arrested, got cheated on. Like, I've been through so many things, man. Car being repossessed, people trying to evict me, power bill, electric bill, car running out on gas, fucking being robbed. I've had everything happen, G. Can you edge in front of the camera? I don't even know what the fuck that means. What does that even mean? Anyways. All I'm saying is, bro, I've been through a lot of shit. I've had females come and go. I've had friends come and go, backstabbed, lied, betrayed. I've had friends get killed, murdered. Lost a lot of friends to drugs. Lost a lot of friends to gang and gun violence. Okay, I've been in hostile situations. I've been in situations where there's massive hostility, massive altercations. I've been in situations where most people would fucking straight break. Most people would not be able to handle a lot of the situations that I've been in and been able to make through. Okay. So I just want you to know that whatever you're going through, it's fine. You're going to be good. But you got to stay strong. You got to hit the gym. You got to keep your mind on. You got to keep your mind on sharp. You know, head on a swivel, G. Follow me on Instagram, Wealthy Westbrook. Join my coaching program. We'll get you dialed in with the mindset of the training and nutrition. I'm here for you. I always will be. All right? Man up.